Hi guys, welcome back to Teacher Quit Talk.
Hi.
Oh, your light is bad.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
It's been a minute. Both of us have seemingly lost most of our brain cells and will to have careers, which is absolutely perfect. So much has been happening. We're both living vastly different lives than the lives we were living when we created the Teacher Quit Talk universe.
It's true.
It really is. This setup is gorgeous. You might know we are highly upgraded. That was an earthquake. We're in California.
That was my ass.
Throw that ass in a circle, cause it an earthquake.
You're welcome, by the way. Okay.
Around here, postpartum blow up.
Oh my God. Literally, like, what the fuck? How many children do I have? It's too many children. Listen, look at all this shit I have. This is called the she shed, you guys. The she shed exists because
There's way too many drinks in here for you to be acting this way.
I had to light my friend
Okay.
to make her look beautiful. More than she is.
There we go.
Oh, she looks fresh, you guys. So I have like 90,000 children, as you all know.
Things escalated.
Things got a little out of hand. The last time we saw each other in person, I could smell my face, and we were in Las Vegas filming and drunk. And I was like, the only reason I can smell my face is I'm with child. Should I take a pregnancy test? They're downstairs.
And I did not let you. I said, that's not something we need to know. We're not finding out about this baby at a casino. Like, the baby's going to be there 3 days from now.
And he is perfect. I will say to you, this baby is perfect. I said, you better be. And he was like, period.
Understood the assignment. I also feel like the thing that happened to you in Vegas has happened to a couple of my friends when they get pregnant is that, like, alcohol they normally really enjoy, they'll have a couple sips of it and they're like, this is kind of gross.
I forgot about that, and it was devastating.
Yeah.
I felt like I couldn't get drunk. And we were in the land of alcoholic Baja Blasts.
Yeah.
And it was really, really sad. But there was just,
You were just not into it. Because, like, you had one or, like, you tried something and you're like, I don't know, I don't really like it. And I'm not that much of a drinker. And by that, I mean I drink very frequently and I'm a lightweight. So it just doesn't take that much for me. And normally you're not in that category. And I felt like you were acting that way. And I was like, ugh.
It was horrible. And I love to drink. One thing about me, I'm Irish and Eastern European.
I'm like, in a health class where they're like, alcohol's a poison. My body took that really seriously. I like to, but it gives me horrible anxiety in the night and in the morning.
I like how this is, it's like we're right back. We're off track.
Oh, right. We were supposed to give you our career updates.
I have no career update. This is the shed.
This is a career update.
I guess. I mean, having a baby is like a career update. It's like
It is when you're a mommy influencer trad wife.
I love
Ballerina farm core around here.
I made her a very trad wife dinner last night.
It was so fucking good. I
Thanks,
literally
girl.
felt like I was like in Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
At
It was
someone's
very
house. It was good.
I made her like baked ziti, and I think the recipe was by like the pioneer woman who was probably like the most MAGA. I probably made you like
don't
Republican
say you made
ziti.
me baked ziti. You cooked a meal for
my
your
family.
family of 5, now 6.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about them. They don't know them. No, we're a family of 5. Jesus Christ.
No, I'm 6.
Right. Yes. I did redo the
You had an extra person to be.
I put the children's nursery together so that Redacted could sleep in it.
And I've never felt safer. I'm actually sleeping hard at this
Good.
house.
That's wonderful news because there's a lot of screaming. But
That's the thing about child screaming is that I'm very desensitized to it. And like, I don't know, if no one has explicitly told me those children, like, you need to watch those children, it just doesn't really faze me unless it's like super close to me.
Yeah. And I'm so excited for today because we have a babysitter and with my husband, both. Because it does take more than one person, even for me. Like,
It's all about ratios. And
It's-
to be out ratioed is really where I've noticed things go awry.
It's not good. And like, whatever. So we're doing that today. So this is the shed. So the goal was that I would start doing long form YouTube, and I fully intended to do such. This project was supposed to take a week. It took a month. And
You mean building the shed?
literally, well, no, this was just redoing it. And with the technology that you saw me fighting with.
I don't think you guys understand. It looks like NASA in here.
It does look like NASA.
I feel like I'm too stupid to know like the names of the launches, but we're in one of them.
We are.
Not the one that exploded.
Yeah, whenever I'm having technology issues, I just send a pic. Well, usually I set it and forget it, but I wanted to set it for both of us. So whatever. That doesn't matter. I'm just telling you, I was going to do YouTube. I'm going to do YouTube, but I had a wee bit of a mental breakdown. And now I feel like I'm on the upswing. I feel like I'm coming back. It only really comes out at nighttime really right now. And the great news is daylight savings time happened, which you came at the absolute worst time.
I
for
was
children.
thinking that. Daylight savings time is not really something that affects me, so it's not really something I take note of. I used to take note of it more when I was on a more rigid schedule, but now that I don't have that rigid of a schedule, like things like that don't like ruin my life the way they used to. And then I was thinking about it when I was driving over here because I flew into LAX, which is the worst place in America. I literally thought there had been like a natural disaster because when we landed, there was like a part of the airport that was literally just like wires and chunks of concrete with like the tiniest fence around it.
Yeah.
Like the tiniest fence I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, what the fuck happened while I was in the air? I was like, LAX has been hit. LAX has been hit. And I got off the plane and I was like, oh, I guess it's always like that because no one else seems to be taking note of this.
It's been under construction for like ever.
That was not construction. That was destruction.
Yeah.
It was literally like there were giant holes in the earth. And then I looked down and it was just wires. And I was like,
It's bad.
what's in the underbelly of this airport?
You don't want to know. It's
And
worse than Denver.
then I had to go to the LAX rental center.
Oh, you have to get on like a bus, don't you?
Yeah, did I tell you what happened with the bus driver?
You had a little moment.
Yeah, no, like this fucking dickhead. I did cut him in line, but like you weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
Like the line was coming this way. Like this mic
Wrong
is the
monitor.
bus. This mic is the bus. The line is coming this way. I was coming this way. Loser here. One of the last people in line, not paying attention. So I got on the bus.
Hello.
It's an LAX rental car shuttle bus. Like it's not the Taj Mahal. Like I can cut you in line. It's not that fucking serious.
Can you not cut at the Taj Mahal? What do they do to you there?
No, I just meant like places that people care about.
Mm.
Like where it's like, no, it's their turn. Like let's have some respect. Like an important place that people care about.
I just like the idea of something bad happening to you if you cut in line at the Taj Mahal.
And so I cut him, and then I have my big ass bag, and this guy's like, I don't think that's gonna fit, because they have a luggage rack on the thing, and I was like,
Well,
mind you, another man got on with a literal giant case of musical equipment. No one said anything to him about that. I have a Vera Bradley hard-shelled suitcase, and suddenly it's a fucking problem.
and tell them what the man said to you.
So the bus driver, after this guy was like, this is not gonna fit. The bus driver was like, yes, it will. We all make sure everyone fits on this bus or around here or something of that nature. And then took my bag and put it up with him at the driver's seat along with this other lady's stroller. And then he unloaded my bag and the stroller onto the curb and didn't do anyone else's stuff. And I was like, and that's a
Ooh.
driver.
That is a driver. Wow, that's hot.
Yeah, so
Everyone fits around
missed
here.
connections, LAX, rental car shuttle. That job probably somehow pays like $150,000
I know.
a year.
It's pretty. I mean, it's a really high stakes gig, but what? So, do they know why you have 8,000 giant bags? Have you told
I don't
them?
have 8,000 giant bags, so I don't know if most of you probably know this. I mainly post about it on Instagram. I somehow became a full-time touring comedian, ? So what happened was, it's crazy how God delivers when you throw caution to the wind. Because the last time we talked to you all, I had just I still refuse to use the word resign, but I didn't sign my contract, and then I started subbing, which was great and is great. And then Steven Taylor, who we had on this podcast, he's the one that got fired for farting. He invited me to a show that he does like a stand-up comedy. He's been doing stand-up comedy for like 10 years. He's been doing stand-up comedy longer than he's been teaching. So he's like a comic first more than a teacher. He wouldn't care that I said that. They invited me to do their show in Nashville with them. And they were like, oh, just come do 10 minutes. And I thought I was going to throw up right before I went on stage. My Fitbit said, congratulations on that great workout. And I said, I'm not moving. And I did it, and it was horrifying and terrifying. And then that was in June of 2025. And then in like July of 2025, one of the guys, it was like a trio of them, Steven Taylor, Lou Ferris, and Joe McKenna. Joe McKenna couldn't make it to some of their tour dates in July. So they're like, do you just want to like fill into his spot and come on tour with us? And I was like, for why not? Because I was like, I've never seen Oklahoma. So this is a perfect chance to go there. And then just kind of like the stars aligned that as Joe wasn't able to go on tour as much, now that I'm subbing, that's like the best job to be able to go on tour. So it just went 0 to 100 very, very, very quickly, which has been like a lot, but so good. And I feel like sometimes I'm like, my life is a movie, and sometimes it's awesome and so glamorous. Like there's really, I get why people start cults, because there's nothing like being on stage and having like 200 people be like incredible, and just laugh at you.
I think you understand theater kids now.
I always understood them.
You
I
do.
just didn't respect them.
You always get so defensive when I say that, because you're like, no, I respect their culture. I respect them, like, or not respect them. You do respect their.
I do respect them.
You appreciate the culture of us.
You're right. I respect you guys, and I want you to stay over there.
Yeah, yes, exactly that. Yes.
The same way I feel about dogs. I'm like, yes, love them, take care of them. That's all you.
One of my dogs, every time that she sees the dog, she goes, wow, I just forget about you. Like, I forget that you're here.
So I'm having an object permanence issue with your dogs specifically. I think because my brain just knows about your many children.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like capacity for chaos for my brain to conceptualize.
Yeah.
So my brain just deletes the dogs. And then I see the dogs. And I'm like, there's a dog in your house. Did you feel about this?
I barely remember. I mean, honestly, having an object permanence issue where you forget about the dogs is pretty common postpartum.
I'm not postpartum.
I'm just letting you know. You're kind of postpartum. You're with me.
Well, I guess like I'm entwined with you, and they're not my dogs. So like that would be a layer onto it.
I mean, there really has been a lot that happened since we last Teacher Quit talked.
There really has.
But
I went through not a mental breakdown, but you probably struggled with this too. Switching from the structure of teaching to the chaos of being a touring stand-up comedian and a substitute teacher was very, very hard for me. It took me from like, because for August and September, I was covering a maternity leave. So I was at school pretty much every day. So my life didn't feel that different. It just felt dramatically easier. And then in like October, when I really started touring, like October is when I started being gone. I'm usually gone at least like 2 weeks a month now. Or like,
you are gone a lot.
Not 2 full weeks a month. I usually leave twice a month for like 3 to 5 days, depending on what's going on. And it was just like very hard to accomplish tasks and figure out like a workflow. And that's something that like people who own their own businesses or work freelance have always told me. Like it's really, really hard to not have a boss. Yeah. For like November, all of like October, November, and December, I was beating myself up so badly for like not getting any work done. But I feel like now I figured out a flow. It just took a while.
Yeah. I mean, you've done so much. I'm really proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. What else?
I had very big sister core, so this is something you would do.
Okay.
Do you know who Cam Patterson is?
No.
He's a comedian. He's on SNL. He like blew up very quickly. He's relatively young.
Cool.
We did a show at the same venue. I'm going to explain to you exactly what happened. My show with the Unteachables was at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Cam Patterson had a show at the same venue at 9 p.m. Those are definitively two separate shows. They are separate tickets. They're 7 hours apart. My sister has been telling everyone my little sister opened for Cam Patterson.
Oh.
And I was like, that's simply not what happened.
That's what happened.
And then her husband was like, I can't believe you got to open for Cam Patterson. And I was like, because I didn't. That's why you can't believe it.
No, it's Bible now. It's Bible. It's real. Ugh.
It was really nice though. That would be hard. I can't imagine. Like, I'm definitively not famous. I would say I'm niche famous, but like generally speaking, I leave my house and no one says anything. I can't imagine being that young and becoming famous that quickly.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a lot.
I was talking to somebody recently about like how many content creators don't have frontal lobes. And if I was like with a following in my early 20s, prefrontal lobe, it would have been a fucking disaster. I was a disaster.
Have I told you my theory? I'm
Tell
sure
me.
this, like a doctor has studied it. I think you stop maturing when you become famous.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard that.
So look at like people make fun of Justin Bieber. I'm like, imagine if you had been objectified and famous since you were literally like 13 years old. You would be like, obviously he acts like a man baby. Who wouldn't?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think there's something to that for real.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It makes you wonder about people that are famous from like birth.
I know.
Because that like if your parents are super famous, they just kind of have friends.
You know, Macaulay Culkin really seems like he's turned it around though. He had a really hard time and then he like had a beautiful love story.
Do you know about his childhood?
It sounds like a nightmare, like hell.
Like somehow his father managed to capture both like a Hollywood exploitation with like poverty neglect.
Yeah.
Like the way that both of those happened is rare.
Yes. And like I love hearing him talk about his like healing relationship with Brenda Song and his kids. And like he went on tour to do like Home Alone watch parties and like talking about it. But then his TV mommy died, which is
I
so
saw that.
devastating. And like rest in peace, she's a legend. But just horrible. I mean, but speaking of child actors, I just feel like he really figured it out somehow.
Yeah. I didn't realize his brother is a famous actor too. His brother was in Succession and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. I wonder if he's also, well, he wasn't a child actor, so it probably was very different.
I would imagine he also has issues, but probably in a...
Oh.
What would you do this to me?
We
I would
have a
imagine
call.
he also has issues, but probably in a different format.
Exactly. You know what? Look at us. We woke the fuck up and
Woke
we
the fuck up.
filmed before our first meeting. Good job. You better be clapping at home.
So the update is career update. I gave up on having one career and now I have multiple. And she's repopulating the earth. So checkmate Republicans.
Literally, my active resistance is making such blue-pilled babies. And then I said that on Threads, and of course they were like, you should actually be having leftist babies. And I was like, I hate this app.
Your baby has not developed class consciousness.
They're like, no, it's not
Your
good
baby
enough.
doesn't even know that it's upper middle class.
It's not good enough to have. And first of all, now your babies are privileged. So fuck you. it's already on a
Some
bad
babies
path.
have moms who aren't YouTubers.
How about that? My kids have already been canceled and they're not even on the internet.
Imagine being canceled before you can speak.
And this is why they can't have the phone until they're 40. But yeah, so I'm going to be starting YouTube. I'm trying to compete with the giant men that are dominating the YouTubes. Nobody believes that I can do it. Everybody thinks you have to do breaking news. Everybody
Who's
tells
got
me.
one? Who?
No, I just mean people in like that space.
Yeah.
Like people, not like Redacted, but like in you guys. But like there's a lot of people getting funding for doing the same exact fucking thing that everybody else is doing. And I am daring to dream. And I'm like, listen, I think that there's a market. I think there's a need for people to, how did I do that? It was on Do Not Disturb and it came off. I think there are a lot of people that want to know what's going on in education. And just because people, like the vast majority of people don't fucking respect education, don't respect teachers, and don't believe in it, that's not my problem. I am here to prove that people care what's going on in education, and I'm going to just yap about it. And people are like, well, what if you don't make big YouTube money? And I'm like, I don't need to be making $10 million a year on YouTube like some of these dudes are. I'm fine.
You know what this is the equivalent of? I saw something the other day. it was kind of Tumblr-y, but I think I saw it on Twitter, where it was basically like talking about the economy and business and that like not everything has to grow. So it was saying like, if a person owns a restaurant that's only open for lunch and it enables them to like take care of their family and serve lunch to their community, there's no need to franchise it. There's no need to extend the hours. Like that existing and serving a group of people has inherent value.
Thank you.
And that's how I feel about your YouTube is like not channels that aren't Mr. Beast have value.
Yeah. And I think I also, being like from a theater background, it was beaten into my head that success is paying your bills doing what you love to do. And if you can chase and figure out how to do that, you're successful. And it doesn't have, like, you don't have to have great success. There's a lot of amazing actors that make a living doing like guest star work and co-stars and whatever it's called now. And they're very, you know, it's great.
Eileen Davidson.
Yeah.
Like everyone on Beverly Hills was shading her and she was like, I've been a very lucrative performing actor for 15 years. Who cares that it's on soap operas?
No, it's like it's a cool thing. And like, I really believe in that. And like, I don't want to chase money. I want to chase purpose because I will burn out if I don't. I'm, you know, whatever. So all that to say, follow my YouTube for that and follow her YouTube for that.
Not for that.
For stand-up.
Oh, well, for stand-up, so this is where I am at in my career. You definitively have purpose, which is great for you, but I'm not 30 yet, so I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm throwing many things to the wall and seeing what sticks. So part of the reason I like stand-up is because it's inherently very different than the internet. And like, when I make a video on the internet, you have to keep in mind that people who are in all kinds of headspaces are going to watch that. So like, you guys know me, I try very hard to like not be offensive and like do things the correct way and like not make jokes that might ruffle feathers in some kind of ways. Like I'm still me, but like I'm just not an asshole because like it's the internet. People are coming to you with all kinds of sensitivities, all kinds of backgrounds. You don't know like what they just went through when they opened this. But when you're doing stand-up comedy, people came there to laugh. So if a joke is a little bit edgier, people are not going to assume ill intent the way they do on the internet, which has been it's been a good muscle to work. Like it's something I haven't done and I'm really liking doing more of the in-person stuff. And that's what I like about stand-up. So right now of my career, I'm kind of just doing a lot and seeing what sticks. I still am doing teachers pay teachers actually in a much bigger way because when I had my own classroom, I was so stressed about the children in front of me and serving them that I was like losing a lot of creativity that I have around teaching. And that's why, even though I'm doing so much other stuff, I still sub, I would say 2 or 3 days a week, almost every week, unless I'm out of town, because I feel like I've come up with so much more creative things. So I've been doing a lot of big projects on Teachers Pay Teachers. I've been doing the stand-up. Obviously, I'm still doing my little skits and things like that. You actually inspired me. I am going to get some better lights for my office and things. And
I'll send you linkies.
Right now, my office is a fucking nightmare. So that's why I haven't been posting as much recently because I redid a lot of spaces in my house. So my office just became the dumping room.
Got you.
But once I return from this, I'm going to be doing more skits. And one thing that I really want to do, so let me know who you want me to do this with. I really want to work with other creators.
Yeah.
Like I feel like my whole life, not my whole life, but my whole like internet career has just been like in my office or in my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to like do more collabs. So right now I'm trying to get on other people's podcasts.
Oh, I love that. That's so important.
That are like diverse in topic.
Yes, I think you should. And that's a key like growth strategy that a lot of people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really important.
This is sad vibes, but hopefully, should I say this? Yeah, why not? So my district has no money, as I've told you all before. So we're doing, I'm not a part of this. They're closing down a lot of schools. And my school that I work at is planned to be transformed into a different grade level school, which is something I'm not particularly interested in. And so when it comes to my teaching career, I was thinking about going back next year, but because we're going through all these closures, I was just like, I think I just want to keep subbing as we figure out what shakes out here. I did just get certified in PE and health.
Very exciting.
So I think if I do go back, it probably won't be this year. It might be next year. And my vision is I still want to teach part-time. I still very much feel connected to the classroom. I am addicted to it. But yeah. Those are our updates.
I love it. And now we have to go to a meeting.
Yeah.
We love you. Like, subscribe, share.
Yes.
Both of our channels, please.
Turn that turn that post notification
Hit
bell
that
on.
fucking bell, bitches. I love you. Mwah.
Mwah.
Bye, guys.